Hello, I'm Deep Dive Coasters, and today we're going to be looking at Pantheon, the skeleton of a great coaster. The idea of Pantheon first started back at the very beginning of 2019, more specifically in February, when this photo was found by BGW fans and a line was traced depicting what they thought to be the layout of the new coaster. And BGW fans would not have to wait long, as the coaster was officially announced by a screening of the announcement video held in the Globe Theater of the park on July 30th, 2019. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Before the actual screening, there was a live performance depicting what the coaster would be about, and a speech by the chief engineer at Busch Gardens. The speech was followed up by the very first screening of the announcement video, the very video you're about to see. So, here we go.
History has never seen a convergence like this. The might of 5 Roman gods in one record-breaking coaster. Strength, speed, power. Witness the force of the new Pantheon. America's fastest multi-launch coaster reached 72 miles per hour, flying forward and backward with a 95-degree drop. Epic thrills come together in the new Pantheon. Coming in 2020 to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
As you just saw, the coaster was intended to open in 2020, but because of the tragic events of COVID-19 shutting down everything, they were not able to open the coaster. But slowly but surely, as everything in the world started to open back up, Busch Gardens announced in September 2021 that Pantheon would be open the following March. And it did open at the very end of the month, specifically on March 25th, 2022, following an early access opening to pass holders on the 5th. But this was not the first disappointment in the experience of Pantheon. The other main disappointment was the lack of theming, as we could see from the concept renderings previously done that stated that it would not include everything that would be there in real life, but would include some major points. These major points being a bridge over the first launch track, a very large plaza between the station, back spike, and first launch track connected by that large bridge. And finally, a station shaped like the actual Pantheon in Rome. Now, going back to our diagram from before, a large plaza most likely would have looked like this, outlined by red lines, and the neon green line would have been the path from the main midway connecting to that plaza and including that large bridge over the first launch track. Now, why was this such a disappointment? Well, people have kind of come to expect certain things from the quality of SeaWorld, as they are usually pretty good with theming their queues, especially when we're promised such insane amounts of theming with this coaster. So obviously people were let down. People were sad because this was the home of the previous tube ride, which was actually kind of fun. So, even though we did get a very, very good coaster, do not get me wrong, the ride experience is absolutely amazing. It did not nearly stand up to the standards that park fans wanted, enthusiasts wanted, and the general public wanted. This also put a very bad spotlight on SeaWorld, as they were not able to open Pantheon before Velocicoaster. So when people saw Pantheon, they were expecting a little bit more, not just from the ride experience, but also just from the experience altogether. The theme, the queue, everything, the foliage. We were also promised a large amount of trees in this plot, and there is yet to be any foliage added to the area. So obviously this is a huge letdown. They had an enormous amount of potential with this coaster, and it's just truly sad that they weren't able to open it before what's known as the better version. Now, I do think that Pantheon and Velocicoaster are two extremely different rides, but after people were able to experience Velocicoaster and then ride Pantheon, it felt a lot more lackluster, having that strange queue with just a couple billboards with facts about Roman gods. Now, I do actually like Pantheon's drop in the back row more than I like Velocicoaster's drop, just because of that angle of descent. 95 degrees, you can really feel yourself twisting in on yourself, but it's not too much that you get that lurching forward feeling. 95 to 100 degrees is just that perfect little space that you're not getting thrown forward, you're still getting thrown up, but you can feel yourself twisting in, and it's such an insane sensation. I love both Velocicoaster and Pantheon to death, but I do still feel like Pantheon was an enormous letdown. SeaWorld can be extremely good with their theming, and we've seen this with examples in the exact same park with stuff like Verbolten, for example, which has an amazing theme and is known as one of the best themed coasters not in a Disney or Universal park. So, why is Pantheon a skeleton of a great coaster? Well, we were promised all these amazing things from Pantheon, and just seeing how it turned out really wasn't a good feeling for most park fans. Now, they did get a experience that was easily the best ride in the park, but nowhere near the best theming in the park. We were promised a Pantheon-like station, but instead, we just got this weird metal box that looks kinda out of place at this coaster. Now, that's not to discredit the layout, as this layout is spectacular. That outer bank is amazing, that backward spike is just so floaty, and not to forget that stall. That stall has to be one of my favorite elements on any Intamin. Yeah, I know it does sound like I'm comparing Velocicoaster and Pantheon a lot, when they are fundamentally very different rides. I mean, for Pantheon, you have a multi-launch coaster that passes over a section of track multiple times, and Velocicoaster, you have a closed circuit double launch coaster that has an insane amount of theming that has come to be expected from parks like Universal. Now, to end off the video, I just want to say Pantheon is an amazing coaster. Now, this is not going to be the very end of the video. I'm about 2 minutes off, but it is so good. If you have the chance, I would take a stop at Busch Gardens just to get a ride on this coaster. But then you can also enjoy the amazing supporting lineup they have with things like Alpengeist, Griffin, Verbolten, Apollo's Chariot, and so many more. They recently opened Dark Coaster last year, which that sounds insane to say last year, about 2023, but here we are. It's just truly sad to see what could have been of Pantheon and what we really got. We got a more lackluster version theming wise, but we still got an amazing coaster. The lap bars are comfortable, the trains look amazing, the color scheme is chef's kiss. And I swear, this is one of, if not my favoritely paced rides in the world that I've ever ridden. It is so good. But it is very, very, very sad to see the version of Pantheon that we got instead of another version that could have been, such as a version with a lot of theming that we were told about. We were told of this version that would change the way we thought about theming and coasters as a whole, but I really wasn't expecting that much. I was expecting at least a nice queue and not this weird wooden walled thing with a couple of signs showing what the coaster was based on. But anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everyone who stayed the full time to listen to me talk about a coaster and something that I'm truly passionate about. This video took me days to edit and fully compose, so a like would be much appreciated. And maybe even a subscribe. I don't know. It's all your idea, though. If you want to subscribe to me, I would love that. But I'm not going to make you do anything. If you're just here to enjoy the content, enjoy it. I love making it for you guys, and I really hope you enjoy it too. Bye.